All right, man, look. And now I'm just playing with you. So I saw this video by Showbiz the Adult, one of my favorite boxing channels, by the way. And he was talking about the press conference that happened today, where Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn obviously came out today, had a press conference about the Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua fight happening, obviously in Saudi Arabia, announcing that, but obviously Joshua and Andy Ruiz weren't there, so it wasn't really much of a press conference. Because when I hear a boxer press conference, when I hear that a boxer press conference is gonna happen, I'm expecting to see the two boxers there. I want to see the press conference for the boxers, right? I want to see and hear the opinions of the boxers. I don't want to hear necessarily the opinion of the promoter. So I was kind of turned off when I saw that Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua weren't there. To be honest with you, I was like, oh, come on, man. Where are these dudes at? Anyway, what Showbiz says in this video is he says this is like a bully tactic because Andy Ruiz hasn't signed a contract. I've read reports where, like I reported to you guys yesterday, that Andy Ruiz is basically saying he wants more money, or he's saying he'll go to Saudi Arabia, but he wants more money. But then you see Eddie Hearn announcing this contract, and that's like a bully move because Eddie Hearn is doing this. Meanwhile, announcing this fight, acting like it's gonna happen 100%. Meanwhile, it's not. Meanwhile, Andy Ruiz hasn't signed. And Showbiz is saying basically that this is like a bully tactic for Eddie Hearn because he's basically putting a lot of pressure on he's basically putting a lot of pressure on Andy Ruiz Jr., right? By doing that, right? Because now it's like Andy Ruiz has to sign the contract, right? He has to sign the contract to make this fight happen, because if he doesn't, and then the fight doesn't go through, he will look like a coward, right? Because people will then be like, oh, but Eddie Hearn did the press conference, so the fight was going to happen. But then what? Andy Ruiz decided to pull out. It's kind of like the Dillian White versus Deontay Wilder fight. No, Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder fight. Do you guys remember 6 years ago? Do you remember 6 years ago when Deontay Wilder was a prospect? I remember Frank Warren, Frank Warren did a press conference with Derek Chisora, a press conference announcing Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder. That fight wasn't signed. That fight wasn't signed at all. But Frank Warren just did a press conference announcing Deontay Wilder is going to be facing Derek Chisora. I believe it was for May of 2013 or August, something like that, of 2013. And you saw that and you were like, what the hell? They're going to fight? But then Deontay Wilder came out and said, we didn't have I didn't agree to this. I never signed a contract, and the fight never went through. But Frank Warren still went on and made that press conference as if the fight was gonna go ahead and happen. So that was like a bully tactic on Frank Warren, right? Even though he knew the fight wasn't actually signed, he did that to, I guess, put pressure on Deontay Wilder, so Deontay Wilder was forced to fight him. But Deontay Wilder was like, no, I'm not going to fight this guy. I didn't even sign a contract. Now, people are telling me, obviously, that, what are you talking about, Rec? He's already signed. Eddie Hearn, came out and said that Andy Ruiz already signed. And I understand that, but Eddie Hearn also came out before and he said that this fight's going to happen 100% in the UK. He said that in the build-up. Eddie Hearn also came out and said that Anthony Joshua is the kind of guy that told me that he wants this fight to happen in New York City again. But then, and that's what he was saying, but then we find out that no, Anthony Joshua actually wants it to happen 100% in the UK. And then we find out that actually this fight's not happening in the UK, it's happening in Saudi Arabia, right? So just because Eddie Hearn says that, oh no, Andy Ruiz signed a contract, doesn't mean that actually happened. As far as I'm concerned, Andy Ruiz has still not come out and said or announced that, yes, he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. Until I see Andy Ruiz come out on Twitter or on Instagram and post something like, Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, we're heading to Saudi Arabia, baby. Unless I see him do something like that, I'm not gonna believe Eddie Hearn. Again, Eddie Hearn is a promoter. Of course, he's gonna say that, but maybe behind the scenes, That's not true. Maybe behind the scenes, Andy Ruiz didn't sign. Maybe behind the scenes, he's trying to get more money for the rematch. So again, just because Eddie Hearn says something doesn't mean it's true. He's lied many times. Okay, he's lied. He's a promoter. He says these things to make the fans believe it. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Peace.